Hello, in today's tutorial we are going to be discussing on how we can actually insert, edit and format our charts in Microsoft Excel. Alright, so now what does it mean to actually be using a chart? That means you wish to analyze your data in Excel. We are now going to see how we can insert, edit and format our charts in Excel. Now let's begin. Alright, first, now for us to insert our charts, first we just need to highlight the data we want to use for our charts. Now I'll be using from here down to the December. Then I'll go straight to insert. Then when I click on insert, then you see the charts here. You see the recommended charts first. Then you see other charts. Now this recommended chart is like Excel is actually recommending a chart for us to use. Then if I just click on this, I'll see some numbers of charts we can actually use. So first, let's say I want to use the line chart. Click on it, then I'll come straight to OK and click. Now this is it. So this is how we can actually pick a chart from the recommended charts in Excel. Alright, let's say we do not want to use this now instead, so I'm just going to be deleting this. I'll be using another one. I'll come back straight to my insert. Then here I'll see some other charts here. Alright, let me come to the first one here, which is the insert column or bar chart. I'll just click on it. Now you see we have the 2D charts, we have the 3D, we have the 2D bar and the 3D bar. So all of these are different charts we can use. So if we want to use any one, like I said earlier, all you have to do is you just click on it and then you've inserted it. Now let's see some other charts we can actually use. I'll be deleting this too. Then I'll come back straight to my insert. Now mind you, while I'm going back to my insert, this is still selected. I'm not unselecting it. So I'll come back to my insert. Then now let's try this one. You see this? See, we can use the different kind of pie chart. We have the 3D pie, we have the donuts and all of this. So we can use whichever one we want to use. So when we come here to anyone you click on, you see the different types. So you can actually select any one you wish to use, or you can choose to go for the recommended charts. Alright, so these are just all of the charts here. Alright, so now I'll prefer to go for the recommended charts. Let me be using the line charts. Then I just click on OK. Good. Now this is the line charts. Alright, now so looking at this is just from January down to December. So let's see how we can actually format this and apply it on the charts. Now first, let's say for instance the January it's 700. Now I actually want to change it back to 500. All I have to do now is to come here, double click, and I'll be changing this to 500. Then I click somewhere else. Now this is it. It just dropped to 500. Now how about I want to increase it? You can increase any other one. So now this, let's say I want to increase this. I'll be changing this to 700. Now this is it. It just increased. So this is also the months. If I decide to change a month, maybe January, I decide to change it. When I change it, it's actually going to affect it right here. So any changes I make on my data is actually going to be affecting my charts. Alright, now talking about the sales here, this is the chart title. We want to now format the chart title. We don't want this here. We want the business charts. So all we have to do is click on it and be changing it right to business charts. Now this is how we can actually format the title for our charts. Alright, now still on this, now we can actually see from January down to December. How about we just want to see 3 first months and also 3 last months. The 3 first months, I hold my control and highlight the 3 last months. Then I hit enter. I highlight the 3 first months and the 3 last months. Then I'll come to my inserts, come to my charts. Let's say I want to be using this, and then I hit this one. Now you see this January, February, March, then October, November and December. So we can actually highlight a particular chart. Maybe we want to just see how far our chart is going or how far the sales is going. You can just highlight a particular chart, then you go straight to your insert and add it up. Now that is just how we can actually go about highlighting a part in our data. Now for instance, we don't want to use these charts. We want to actually change this chart. Now all we have to do is first click on it, then you come right here under your chart design tab, you see the change chart type. You click on it. Now you see this, all these are the different charts we can actually use. So you must have been used to these common charts, which are the column, line, pie, the bar charts. These are the most common or most used charts we know about. So we can see so many other charts we can actually use. We have the sunburst, even that of the histogram. So all of these are different charts we can actually use. Now let's say we want to change this. Now we would like to use this, or even this, or this. So whichever one you want to use. So I'll prefer to use this line with markers. Then all I have to do is to click on OK. You can also decide to use even the pie chart by clicking on it, or any of these 3D or even the 2D. You can choose to use any one. So I'm just going to be using the line, then I'll be using the line with markers. Then I just click OK. Now this is it. I just inserted it here. Alright, so now this is just how we can actually go about in arranging or inserting our charts. How about we now want to format our charts? Now, looking at this plus icon, this is the chart elements where you can add or remove some chart elements. Now, when I click on this, for instance, you see this axis. Now, when I uncheck this, it's actually going to remove something from this. Now, look at the chart very well, and I'm going to uncheck this now. Good. Now, I just unchecked it. Now, it removed the axis here. So, how about I check it back? Now it brings it back. So I can add any of this. Let's say I want to add the data table. I'll just click on it. Now this is the data table down here. So I do not need this, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, how about I need the data labels? I can just click on this. All right, I feel I need to use this data labels, so I'm just going to leave it here. All right, so now this is how you can actually add some chart elements. Now the next one is chart styles. I'll be clicking on my chart styles. Now these are my different chart styles I can use. I can decide to use any one of my choice. So I don't know which you prefer to use, so you can actually use any one of your choice here. So let's say I want to use this. All I have to do is just click on it, and then it has been inserted. So instead of having the sales lined up here, now I'm having it on every break in my charts. Now that is just for the chart styles. Now we also have the filter where we can actually filter by categories. Now let's say for instance I do not need January or I don't need May. So all I have to do is to uncheck this and click on apply. Now May is no longer here. I've removed it. So if I need it back, I just click on it and then apply. It brings it back. So this is how we can now format this. Alright, so now let's see some other things we can actually do. Now we'll be moving over to the pivot chart. Now we're going to see how we can actually use the pivot chart on this. First, all we have to do now is to highlight them first. Highlight our charts. Good. Now after highlighting our charts, you just come straight to your insert. Then you see the pivot chart, you click on it. Now the first one is the table or the range. Now these are the table or the range. This is it. All of this here. So next, do we want this on a new worksheet or on existing worksheet? Okay, let's say I want it on a new worksheet. All I just do is to click on OK. Now this is it. With this, it actually allows us to filter also our axis, the legend, and the values. So how can we now insert our charts here? Now I'll just drag in the year. Let's say I want the year to be filtered. I'll put it here. Filter by year. Then also the product group. Let's say I want the product group under the legends. And this is it. These are the product groups. Then unitary costs, the axis. This is it. Or instead, let me just put it under the values. Now this is the unitary cost. And then lastly, unitary price. This is it. So now this is just our charts. Alright, I feel maybe I need to take this here too. Alright, now this is it. So this is how we can actually go about with the pivot chart fields. Now this is it right here with the pivot. So even with our pivot chart, we can also analyze our data in Excel. Alright, so I can simply close this or take it out. So this is how we can actually go about with our pivots in Excel. All right, one last thing, let's go back there. Good. Now let's see how we can actually now use some other charts like the pie charts. Now for instance, I want to change this. Like I said earlier, all you have to do now is click on it. You come to your chart design, you see the change chart type, you click on it. Now let's try using the pie chart. I'll just click on this, then I can use any of this. So let's say I want to use this one. I just come click on OK. Now I just inserted this. Now looking at this, it's actually having all of the datas on it. Now this is 974, this is 160, 700, which is all of this right here. So like I said earlier, if you want to select a particular month or sales, you just have to highlight it, then you come right straight to your insert and insert for that data you highlighted. All right, so this is just how we can actually go about with our charts in Excel. All right, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you have any question or if you have anything you would like to share with us, drop it in the comment section. And also, if you would like to learn more on summary reports using a pivot table, you can actually hit the next video at the top left here. That will take you through the step on how you can actually use and understand the pivot table in Excel. All right, so see you guys now next class. Stay safe.